It's Monday, March 2nd, 2026. This is day 3 of the US and Israeli war in Iran, and the war is no longer just about Iran.
Because today it became a regional war.
Let's run through the last 24 hours. A fourth American service member is dead. Hezbollah opened a brand new front, firing missiles into Israel. Israel responded by bombing Beirut. Kuwait accidentally shot down 3 American fighter jets. Iran hit the US Embassy compound in Kuwait City. And President Trump went on camera and refused to rule out sending ground troops into Iran.
Let's take these one at a time. Start with the American casualties.
US Central Command confirmed Monday that a fourth service member has died. All 4 were ground-based forces stationed in Kuwait, killed during Iran's initial retaliatory strikes over the weekend. General Dan Kane, chair of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, said on Monday. And this is a direct quote. We expect to take additional losses, and as always, we will work to minimize losses. That is the chairman of the Joint Chiefs telling the American public to prepare for more dead soldiers.
And then there's the friendly fire incident. This is almost unbelievable.
3 US Air Force F-15E fighter jets were shot down over Kuwait, not by Iran, but by Kuwaiti air defenses. CENTCOM's statement said that during active combat, quote, the US Air Force fighter jets were mistakenly shot down by Kuwaiti air defenses. All 6 crew members ejected safely and were recovered in stable condition. Kuwait has acknowledged the incident and launched an investigation. Iran's state media, meanwhile, immediately claimed their forces shot down a US F-15. They did not. It was friendly fire, in the chaos of a battlefield where Iranian missiles, drones, and aircraft were all in the air simultaneously.
This is the fog of war. Literally. Kuwaiti air defense operators couldn't tell the difference between American jets and incoming Iranian threats.
And that's 3 jets, 3 multi-million-dollar aircraft destroyed by an ally. It tells you something about the intensity and confusion of what's happening in that airspace right now.
Meanwhile, Iran struck the U.S. Embassy in Kuwait.
Smoke and fire were visible rising from inside the US Embassy compound in Kuwait City on Monday. AFP captured the images. It's unmistakable. Iran also claimed it fired 15 cruise missiles at the Ali al-Salem airbase in Kuwait, and the Revolutionary Guard Corps said it hit 3 US and British oil tankers in the Persian Gulf. Saudi Arabia said it shot down 2 drones that were targeting its major Ras Tanura refinery. A drone also struck a British Royal Air Force base on Cyprus. No casualties reported. Mawite Faridari casualty, Maridar Fiti Cancer Fitarfi. But that's a NATO country. Iran-backed militias in Iraq fired at a US base in Erbil and claimed a drone attack on Baghdad airport.
So Iran is hitting Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Iraq, Cyprus. This is not a contained conflict.
No, and the Iranian Red Crescent Society says at least 555 Iranians have been killed since Saturday. That includes Khamenei and members of his family. Iranian officials also said more than 168 schoolgirls were killed when a school took a direct hit. 555 people in 3 days. And that's the Iranian Humanitarian Agency's number, which could be conservative.
And Trump? What did the president say?
Trump said in a video on Truth Social that the US had sunk 9 Iranian warships and, quote, largely destroyed Iran's naval headquarters. CENTCOM said it could confirm hitting 1 warship that was sinking in an Iranian port, but could not confirm the broader claims. On the timeline of the campaign, Trump said it could last, quote, 4 to 5 weeks, but added, and this is key, he would not rule out ground troops. He said, quote, we have the capability to go far longer than that.
So the man who launched airstrikes 72 hours ago is now floating a multi-week ground campaign.
In a country of 88 million people, 3.5 times the size of Iraq, just to calibrate the scale of what he's suggesting.
Now, Hezbollah, this is a massive escalation.
Hezbollah, the Iranian-backed militant group in Lebanon, launched a barrage of missiles and drones into northern Israel overnight. They explicitly said it was in retaliation for the killing of Khamenei. They targeted Israeli missile defense sites. Israel said it intercepted one of the missiles, while others fell into open areas. But Israel's response was immediate and sweeping.
They bombed Beirut.
Israeli jets struck Hezbollah strongholds in Beirut's southern suburbs. Dahia, the neighborhood that was devastated in the 2024 war. Lebanon's health ministry reported at least 31 killed and 149 wounded, mostly in southern Lebanon. The IDF said it would, quote, not allow Hezbollah to pose a threat to the state of Israel. The Israeli military chief, Lieutenant General Ayal Zamir, said Hezbollah is, quote, fully responsible for any escalation.
And the Lebanese government.
Lebanon held an emergency meeting and said it plans to arrest those responsible for the rocket attacks on Israel, which is a remarkable statement, a sovereign government essentially disowning the militia that operates on its territory in real time, while that militia is at war. Meanwhile, families in Beirut and southern Lebanon are fleeing into schools converted to shelters. NPR spoke to a taxi driver named Abu Ali, who evacuated Dahia with his family at 3 a.m. He was displaced during the 2024 war, too. He said, and this sticks with me, quote, the Israeli enemy is an enemy in the end, but enough. We also want to live.
The civilians, as always, pay the price. Let's talk about what this looks like in Israel.
Since the strikes on Iran began Saturday, Iranian missiles have killed at least 10 people in Israel. 9 of them were at a public shelter outside Jerusalem that took a direct hit on Sunday. Another missile killed a caregiver from the Philippines in Tel Aviv. NPR interviewed an Israeli named Shay Shaw in Tel Aviv, who said something pretty honest. Quote, we killed their leader, but the leadership in Iran is not completely destroyed, and within a few months, they're just going to come back. Next year is going to be the same thing, same story, same kind of war.
Okay, markets opened this morning into all of this. What happened?
Oil went vertical. Brent crude hit $78 a barrel, a new 52-week high, up as much as 9%. West Texas Intermediate surged to over $70. Bloomberg reported Brent briefly topped $80 before pulling back. Goldman Sachs says there may be a good deal more upside left. And here's the thing. Iran said Saturday it was closing the Strait of Hormuz. 31% of all seaborne crude on Earth goes through that strait. If that holds even partially, Goldman's floor estimate becomes very conservative.
What about equities?
European markets fell. The FTSE dropped 1.2%. US stocks opened sharply lower but staged a partial recovery as the day went on. Energy stocks surged. Exxon and Chevron up about 4%, ConocoPhillips up over 5%. Gold rallied as a safe haven. Treasury yields dropped as money flooded into bonds. The pattern is classic wartime. Energy up, defense up, everything else under pressure, and analysts are saying, if this is a short campaign, maybe a few days of volatility. If Trump is serious, about 5 weeks, or ground troops. Markets haven't even begun to price that in.
Before we close, there was one piece of genuinely good news today.
India and Canada signed a $2.6 billion uranium supply deal, a 10-year agreement. Prime Minister Mark Carney visited New Delhi and met with Narendra Modi. They're planning a comprehensive trade pact by the end of the year and cooperating on small modular nuclear reactors. Remember, these two countries nearly severed diplomatic ties less than 2 years ago over the assassination of a Sikh activist in British Columbia. Today, they signed a nuclear deal. It's a good reminder that while one part of the world is on fire, diplomacy is still possible somewhere else.
That is a genuinely surprising turnaround.
It is, but look, the dominant reality right now is this. The war has spread. It went from Iran to the Gulf, then to Pakistan, now Lebanon, Iraq, Cyprus. 4 American soldiers are dead. Hezbollah is in. Markets are repricing the world, and the President of the United States is talking about 5 weeks and not ruling out ground troops. 3 days in, we are covering this every single day because the pace of change is extraordinary. Stay informed, stay sharp. We'll see you tomorrow.
Stay safe out there.